How's it going, everyone, and welcome back to Battlegrounds Game Center. I'm Patrick, and today we're going to be doing something quite a bit different. We're going to be doing some painting. Now, normally our channel is all about unboxing games, showing you how to play them, and even a few battle reports in here and there. But one of our regulars at the store is trying to do something kind of special with their army. So they have a tournament coming up here soon, and they wanted everybody in the store, all the regulars, all the managers and stuff like that, to paint up a single orc that they can put in a few different units. So they'll have multiple units of uniquely painted orcs from all the different people that are in our store. And I thought that was a really cool idea. So I kind of wanted to share that with everybody. And we're going to paint my orc on camera. Now, I am not an amazing painter. I don't really have an idea of how I want to do this work just yet. So we're kind of just going to run through the process with this video. We're not going to make it too long. Like, you're not going to watch me paint this in real time, really. We're going to kind of skip around. You know, and I thought it was something really cool to do. Really supports the store, gets everybody together, a community-driven activity. I wanted to get started on this. We're going to kind of figure this out as we go. Like, again, I don't really have a specific scheme in mind, but I did get the captain or leader of the unit. So we're going to paint it in my way. So let's go ahead and get started on that. So I was told the only thing I couldn't do with the orc is the base. They have an idea of how they want to do the bases for everyone. So we're not going to be doing any basing today, rimming or anything. We're just going to be painting the model itself. And then for this model in particular, the first thing I want to do, since it's primed in, I believe, Mechanicus Standard Gray, it's a little dark, so we'll probably do some white dry brush to get some of the highlights out first. Kind of do a little bit of a slap chop method. Just lightly brush over a bunch of this to kind of help pick out some of the highlights. Because we're going to be using probably a lot of contrast paints today. And if I go heavy on some of it, it's okay. I'm not too worried about it. This brush might be a little too big, but it's really the best one I had for this, so bear with me. I might do things differently to what other people might do. You might disagree, and you know what? That's okay. So next step we're going to do is probably the skin. We got a decent amount of white. It's very, very rough, you know, and tumble, but that's okay. Orcs tend to be rough and tumble. So I wasn't sure exactly what I wanted to do skin-wise. Probably green, and I wanted to make them pretty bright and colorful. So I typically do very grim, dark, you know, models, not a lot of highlighting and stuff. So we'll do some colorful skin, and then the rest of it might be a little darker and grungier. But as far as the skin is concerned, we're going to do Corandus green. So I actually used this green on my Seraphon, and I liked the way it looked on their skin. So we're going to see how it looks on an orc. All right, and this is my first time trying to film a painting, so if you don't like the camera angles, I will make them better in the long run. Trying to figure out what is the best way to do this. I don't really have the setup in my house for this just yet, but once we get into our studio, I'll be able to really have like a paint box that I can have like a GoPro set up at all times. So yeah, so we'll go from there as we get there, but for now, this is what I got. So I'm gonna paint over the skin here. We've got a lot of pieces on him. If we mess up, it's okay. This is my first time painting an orc too. I've actually never painted orcs. I've never been an orc person in most like IPs. Like, I've never been into fantasy orcs. I've never been into, you know, sci-fi orcs. Like, it's just something that I've not been overly into. But I was excited to get this chance to paint one, though. I don't know, we'll see how long this takes me. It's just one model. Shouldn't take me too long. I thought about doing a purple orc because I thought it would be funny that their leader is purple and you just don't see him. But yeah, I'd imagine most people are probably painting them green. So at least keep that kind of consistency. By the end of it, it should look really cool. So I think that is the most of the skin. Because he's got pants and a jacket. So we've got quite a bit of like cloth and stuff. I think what we'll do is I got Skeleton Horde here. I got Snakebite Leather, which I'll probably do for his jacket. Let's do the skeleton horde first on like the skull and stuff, and his horns. I'm actually kind of sick of skeleton horde because I've painted like 60 death rattle skeletons for AOS. So at this point I'm kind of like over it, but it's okay. And then he's got his horns. Part of them are metallic, like got metal on them. So we're gonna do Black Legion for his pants here. And I just noticed I missed a skull on his butt. So we'll do that here in a second. It's got like a lot of straps on him, which will make this a little difficult to get in and paint all of, but metallics are probably gonna be last just because they'll cover a decent amount of mistakes that I make. I think I might do it on the weapons because I'm gonna go over it with a different metal. Dry brush it with the metal. So yeah, we'll go over the axe with Black Legion. So we'll go over this. We'll lighten up so that it's not like super dark. It's just a little dark, a little black, because we're gonna go over it with some metallics. Cool, we'll do that. Kind of spread the love with black, and then we'll start adding some of the other colors in. Probably snakebite leather for his jacket, and some other areas that could be brownish leather. I do like this color. It's a really cool brown. Originally I thought about making this guy Battlegrounds colors, but I think somebody's already doing that. So I don't want to double up on, ideas. I might do the black leather here, or I might do the snakebite on the gun leather helder. I might do the straps a darker brown to kind of break it up. Okay, so then there's like leather cloth type look on his feet here. And then for his loincloth, we'll probably do like a darker, or maybe even do a different color altogether instead of like brown or tan. So a little bit hard to reach and see areas here. Try Gorgunta fur. I've never used it. That's a nice brown. It's not like super, super dark, but it's dark enough to add some variation to what I got here. So we'll do this on the strap down here. It's got more of like a reddish tint to it. Very cool. Maybe even the little pouch there. Can barely see it, but there is a pouch underneath his jacket. I like my earthy tones. They always look good. All right, so I think for the loincloth, I'm gonna do red. Flesh tear is red. Maybe even some of the straps too. Just to kind of break up the color a little bit, so it's not all just earthly colors. I always am a little iffy about doing green and red together. Obviously, because I don't want it to be like super Christmassy looking, but when it's not a lot of red, I think it's okay. So I could do Skeleton Horde on the cloth because it actually is a nice tan color and it looks really good on cloth. But I might go for a different brown, a brown I haven't done yet. So I got this Mortarion Grime shade. You can always see what that looks like just by itself. It's a darker greenish gray looking color. Might look good for cloth, especially when I have the make the cloth, yeah, keep the cloth like whitish but make it dirty. Could be kind of good. Also, I've not seen the shade work yet, so I'd like to see what it looks like. Yeah, gives it kind of like mummy rag looking. I don't know, I don't mind it. Just like dirty white rags. Just about all of the non-metallic parts of the model. I do have a little bit here, the rocks that he's standing on. So I'll do that with a gray. So we're gonna go back over and do some metallics on that. I'm probably gonna have to go back over it with another shade of something, but to kind of help separate it out initially And then maybe even the grenade. We're getting close to being done with this. So now we got the metallics. There's a few ways to go about this. I could either try dry brushing the metallics on, or I can paint them on. Now, for the weapons, I am going to dry brush some lead belcher, but first, we're going to paint some lead belcher onto various parts of this model. There's a lot of parts of this that are metallic here, so we're just going to do a nice... I wet my brush, you know, make it so it's not just straight paint, you know, try to wet it up a little bit. But we want to get it covered, so. And there's a little bit of undry paint, but that's okay. If it looks dirty, I'm okay with that. It's just how they look. A little haphazard, a little dirty, thrown together. Orks just have a lot of random metallics everywhere. Got his jaw. So we're gonna go over it with lead belcher first, but I'm probably gonna go over some other bits of it with different colors. Then we'll go over it with known oil or some type of wash. Maybe Angrax, since these are dirty, dirty orks. We'll do a little dry brushing on some of this too. Specifically like the weapons. Okay, so that is a fully base coated ork. I mean, I got more to do to it, but that is for the most part the final look. But that is close to done. Okay, so next we're going to use a little bit of Retributor armor. For the brassy look, we're going to go over some of the different metal bits, kind of break up the patchwork nature of the armor. So like things like little pieces that are just kind of hanging off here. Bunch of different metallic bits, just welded together with imagination. The gold is interesting. I'm gonna probably add another color in there too, but the gold definitely gives it a more like regent looking ork. I love it. Just kind of pick out random areas to bolt on. Again, I had no like true plan on how to make this ork look. Just trying something, you know, just doing something as we go. Yeah. All right, I think that's gonna be it for that color. And then we're gonna go ahead and do a little bit of death metal, which is a nice, it's from War Paints Fanatic. It's a nice black metallic, I really like it. Add some more variation in some of the areas. Very cool. Heck yeah. Liking the way that looks. He really is kind of more of like a regal looking ork. He's got like some nice shininess to him. So the next big step is actually going to be doing some dry brushing. And then we'll do some final touches, but for this, we're going to use some lead belcher here. Just get it on the brush here, and then we're going to dry brush the weapons. So give them back some shininess. Make it so it's not as black. Dry brushing is one of those techniques that if you can understand it and do it, your models will look 10 times better just by doing a little bit light brushing. So we got that. I'm gonna go back to the red because I decided I want to make the tubes red. Just like red hydraulic fluid. Or maybe it's blood. Could be whatever you want it to be. And then also with the red, little tiny bit here on the eye. And then before we do a wash, I'd like to do his teeth. The teeth. So we'll just do his teeth here on the top. A little hard to do with the mask. So if I don't get 100%, it's okay. So the last little bit then is, I think I'm pretty happy with how the wraps turned out. So yeah, let's go ahead and throw a wash. All the different metallics here with some Waaaaggghs. Might even go over some of the bones and stuff with that still. So yeah, that's my orc. It took about an hour to paint. I'm really happy with it. I hope Troy likes it. Again, Troy's including all these differently painted orcs from all the different regulars at Battlegrounds and the manager team to include in his army for a tournament coming up. So he'll have a bunch of uniquely painted orcs in like 2 different units, I think. So I'm excited to see all of them together and how they look, and maybe we'll do a video on them or take some photos and post them to socials, Facebook, and all that. So everybody can take a look at them and see what they look like if you're interested. But if you enjoyed this content and you want to see more like it, please go ahead and like and subscribe to the channel. If you want to see more painting videos, let me know in the comments below. I have at least one more painting video planned for a brand new model that just came out. So that'll be coming out relatively soon after this one. But yeah, thank you guys again. And until next time, I'm Patrick at Battlegrounds Game Center. See you later.